Hey, what's up, guys? Hello,
Hi.
hello. What's up,
Hello, hello.
everybody?
My favorite ladies.
Yay. So exciting. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to another episode of the Horror Flick Chicks podcast.
Woohoo! Here we go.
Sonia, Sandra, and Angie here again. And we are back with a brand new season of Yellowjackets. Yellow
Yeah.
Jackets is back. The first two episodes are out, and we're going to discuss those today. So we are in season three, and
Yeah.
we are going to quickly recap the ending of season two for you. So at the end of season two, all the ladies in the present world, I
Yes.
mean, because we have to talk in a sense of two worlds here, right? All the
Right.
ladies in the present world
Back
are,
in the day and current.
yeah. So they're at the retreat spot that Lottie used as
Yeah.
her meditation kind of holistic space. And they did show a brief moments of them kind of enjoying their time together and
Yeah.
reminiscing to in a sense. But things started to get a little crazy,
There's a
and
lot going on.
yeah, there was really a lot going on. Sean, we know Shauna had a killed her lover previously, and all that was coming back around to kind of
Yeah.
get her. The cops were kind of on their tracks, and they figured out she was there, and they come to find her. And Shauna's husband and daughter are trying to save her essentially, right? Trying to protect her. And they come and um and they're there and they end up um diffusing the situation, I'll say, with the
Well, yeah. Yeah.
with the police. And well, them also with our new friend here, Walter, right? With Walter, Misty's
Played by the most amazing
friend.
Elijah Wood. Yes.
Um,
Yeah,
I
friend.
don't know, Missy's partner, maybe I should
Situationship.
say. So
Situationship.
situationship, yeah, it could
Each
be,
one of those fit, I
yeah.
think.
It's either way, it's complicated. Okay,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
complicated. So that happens, and then we also see Misty, unfortunately, um, shoots Natalie up with the syringe, and Natalie unfortunately dies.
Unfortunately and accidentally.
And accidentally, yes. And then in the past world, we see the girls kind of going a little bit mad,
A
right?
little bit.
If it's cabin fever, I don't know what you want to call it, but they are, and Coach Ben is freaking out, not knowing what's happening with the girls. They decide they're in a state of panic, really, because they're starving. It's
Yes.
winter time. They
So there's no,
don't
you're right, there's no animals to hunt
No
or
animals to hunt.
food.
Basically, no heat.
Yeah.
They barely have wood to keep on the fire because it's snowing
The
and
bad
everything
winter,
outside,
yeah.
everything. So they're panicking and they're going a little mad. And they decide to, well, look, we do have, basically it's like we do have a dead body here. We need to eat, and we got to get to
They got to keep themselves
munching on this
alive.
on our
They cooked
friend.
up Jackie. Jackie
Yeah,
got
they
cooked
they
up
they
and
cooked
eaten eaten
her
up.
up.
All means necessary, right?
They charred her. Her body got charred up and smelling like a pernil, and they were there like
I think we talked
munching.
about this before. Like, if
We
I
did,
were
but
to you guys would be eating for
this is
days.
this is the recap. That's like the roast
Yep.
pork you do in a campo, and you put it in the ground, mm, with the leaves, mm.
Who's getting the nalgas? That's what I
and
want to
and
know.
the nalgas will last us for a while, at least a week.
Months. Months.
And
Oh,
Ben
a
sees
week.
this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ben sees this, freaks out, runs away, right? The whole cabin burns down. The ladies are thinking Ben did this, he's not around. What's going on? All right, season's
Yeah.
over. Season's over. We're on season three now. We're season three, episode one, called It Girl. This is the name of the episode. And it looks like the winter is over, right? We're in the spring,
Yes, the spring
spring in
came.
spring into summer now.
Right.
And they have, the cabins burned down, so they don't have that. But they have a lot of nice little
They
setup
made these
here,
cute. I love the little huts that they
right?
made.
I was gonna
That
say
was
they
so
did a pretty
cute.
good job. They made all these little like teepee huts out of sticks and
They
leaves.
were really
It
nice.
looks nice, and
So
they
cute. They were
they
like little tiny homes, but in the woods.
yeah, they look like birdhouses,
Yeah.
but
Like
just
big
for
birdhouses.
human size,
Yeah.
size. So
I mean, you have nothing to do every day. You have to learn how to survive. You have to learn how to build. You have to learn how to
yeah,
use
and they're and,
everything
and
that
they're out
kind of
hunting.
like naked and afraid, but like they got clothes on, I guess.
Yeah,
Probably
and they're
me.
out hunting, so they're able to get some food
Yeah,
now.
they got. I saw like I like that they have like a little pen and they have rabbits and I think there was some ducks
Mm.
there.
Mhm.
And there was like a little garden, like they were
Yeah,
growing.
and then
They learned how to grow stuff
and
that they
one of the girls was
probably
bringing like a bird or something. I guess she shot it or killed it or something. She was carrying the bird. So they like they're learning how to, well,
survive.
maybe not learning because I think they were doing that already for a while. But now that
Yeah.
the winter's
It
gone,
seems like they've got it down packed,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's a routine now.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
sure.
And but I think most of them are with it, and they're really trying to make the best out of the situation. They're like we said, they build shelters, and they're gathering food, and they're even like kind of playing games and having
Yeah,
fun in a
the
sense, right?
wait, they opened up by them running in the woods chasing Maddie, trying to get something from her. And then not that long after that, we find out that it's actually a game that they're playing. It's called Capture the Bone.
Yeah, so they have like a little bone, it's on like a string or something, and
Yeah.
it's just like it's just like a fun game, like capture the flag type thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And they're doing that. So this is part of their way of kind of having fun and I guess getting their mind off of the situation. They're even
yeah,
like playing telephone at one point. If you noticed,
yeah,
they were doing that,
yeah,
trying to have fun, and then at one point they were kind of telling stories and just telling stories of their survival kind of, and making it like if it's a big event that they should be rejoicing and be proud of and just having fun. But everyone is not really into this
happy.
whole
No,
new way of life. Like we see
no.
Shauna really,
Shauna is very unhappy with
yeah,
it seems like with the game, and she's just kind of like storms away at one point and
yeah,
decides to sort of
there's a definite uh like rivalry, I guess, between Shauna and Maddie. They're
yeah,
like
they're
they're
not very
always like at each other's throats. Yeah. I think that stems a lot from her losing the
the
baby.
baby. Yeah.
And they kind of wanted the baby, right? They wanted to I mean,
Eat the
yeah,
baby.
I don't want to be morbid, but this is what
Yeah.
what it is. I guess we should have prefaced this whole episode by saying there's going to be spoilers, guys. So,
Feed the
you
baby.
know,
Be, eat the baby. I mean, the
yeah.
baby's is still it's neat.
Unfortunately, when you're in the wilderness and you're desperate, then you have to do what you have to do. But yeah, she's really uneasy about that whole thing. So
Yeah.
she's not really into this whole like summer solstice celebration thing. Like this is not what it's about. I think she understands about having to survive
Yeah.
and stuff, but why you got to go after my baby for
Right.
kind of thing. So she's uneasy
I
with
mean, she
how
was
they're doing.
almost to the point where she was also hallucinating, right? And thinking that
Yeah,
her baby was alive.
nice.
So,
Yeah.
you got to feel sorry for her. It's this
Oh
postpartum.
yeah, I would feel the same way. I
Anybody
would,
would. I mean, it's like that postpartum, like, I mean, first of all, you're dealing with that, and then you're dealing with the death of your child. So yeah, I mean, she was kind of like not feeling it, trying to figure out like, okay, how do I get my baby back, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
She really
then,
stopped.
let's switch gears a little bit and
So yeah, come
they,
back to the present
well,
time.
yeah, we'll go back to the present time now. So now, like we mentioned, Natalie's deceased,
Mhm.
and they're kind of gearing up. The girls or the women now are gearing up to attend her memorial service, and Misty is kind of in her own little
She's
world.
hesitant. She it was
Yeah, she's in her
her
own little
best
world
it was
about
her
things.
best friend basically. So she's depressed. She can't get out of bed.
And
Um,
it's her fault that she's dead. I think that's what it stems from, that she
Yeah.
blamed herself
right.
for what happened, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
And we do see her break down a little bit later in the episode where, she kind
yeah.
of goes to a bar, she gets drunk,
That
the
was
at the
so
same
funny.
time as the memorial, and she's like, "Oh, an espresso martini." No, a whiskey, straight up. So, she's just drinking and drinking, and at the dive,
I like the old guy sitting next
the
to her just going,
Jersey guy is just like, "Yeah, do it.
like,
Like, been there, do it." So no one's really like looking out for her. She's kind of like hanging out in this bar. She meets two guys who are like just kind of like minding their own business, but
starts to pick a fight with them.
she's getting drunk and she's in her
She's,
feeling.
she started to pick a fight. Like, I think
She
the
started to
guy
pick a
came
fight.
over to get another round for him and his friend. They were playing pool in the back, and he mentioned something about her jacket, like that's a cool
He
jacket,
said
whatever.
you have a nice jacket or
And
something.
then,
Like, don't
whatever,
touch my
and
jacket.
she comes back slamming the whiskeys and stuff, and then she hears Natalie's voice in her head saying, "Don't let people treat you like that. Don't let people talk to you a certain way."
Yeah.
I'm like, but they didn't say anything bad.
No.
But she took it some kind of negative way and went over to kind of confront them and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Like,
she
I
wanted
burned
to.
dicks.
I, I burned dicks.
And then she was about to, what did she
Wait,
strew some
She
alcohol on
she
them or
threw beer
whatever,
on them.
and then was trying to light them on fire with a electronic candle at the bar. And she's like, "Does someone have a lighter?" As if someone's gonna hand her a lighter. So the guys were
yeah.
like, clearly this girl is toasted, whatever. So she kind of leaves the bar. And then of course, like her situationship comes to save her on the roadside while she's like kind of stumbling, I don't know, back home or
I
somewhere.
don't. By the way, I
Um,
don't trust him, Walter.
No, I don't trust him either.
There's something about him that, like, I think.
He seemed innocent enough last season,
Mhm.
like just in it from the
But not up until the end, though, because at the end,
well, right. When we first I mean when we first like when he was first like introduced and he met Misty and
yeah,
everything because of the blogs that they were on or the
part of, yeah,
yeah. And but yeah, definitely at the end of last season he got a little bit suspicious, and he's continuing that into this season because I feel the same way. He's trying to be like the caring kind of boyfriend or friend to Misty, but I think he's trying to like push her away from the girls.
yes. I think
From
he's trying to push her away from the girls. He said more than once, he was saying how they're not your friends.
they're not really your friends, and
Yeah, they
real
just
friends
come
don't do things
around when
like
they
that.
want something from you.
And then he even mentioned when he found her on the roadside, he's like, "Oh, she's like,
Oh, yeah,
why are you following me, whatever?" And he was like, "Well, I have your phone because like these guys like started calling people on your contact
Oh, they
list."
left it
And
right, left at the door.
she was like, "One of my other friends would have came to get me." And then he's like, gaslighting her basically, like telling
Yeah,
her that she's like nuts because these guys called every number and nobody answered until they got to him.
yeah,
So he's like, "I'm your friend.
yeah.
They
He's
are
trying to mess
not.
with her.
Nobody's coming to get you." And then that's at the point where she breaks down, right? Because she's like feeling obviously like the reason why she's getting drunk in the first place because she's feeling guilty, that her friend Natalie is dead because of her.
Yeah,
So she breaks down, falls into his arms. He takes her home. He tries to like take care of her, right?
yeah.
Like trying to be that person that's like, "I care for you. I'm the one that's
I'm
here."
the one that's here.
he's definitely
Right.
manipulating her and making her feel some type of way about her friends, and it's bad now, right? Because he knows what happened. Like, he knows what she did, whether it was an accident or not. he know, like, the girls are not gonna say anything
Right.
because they've been through a whole bunch of other shit
Right.
between themselves, and they're not gonna say anything because it'll implicate everyone else. So it's not, good for them to do that. But he is like I can see him, like if she really starts to go to the left and not be around him like that, and be more with the girls or just away from him in general. um, I think that he is going to use that information against her.
Uh,
Like, look, I know what you did. Like, I know it really happened.
right. Right.
And he even knows about the stuff with the other girls, about Shauna, what she did.
He knows
And
about everything.
yeah, so I'm
He knows
saying, so he
everything.
can really come back around.
He was at the retreat place,
Yes,
Lottie's
that's what
place,
I'm saying. Like he can
so
blow all this stuff up for them. Like so, it's hard because she needs to really, and she's so like not in her right mind about things that she's not even thinking about this now. I think Misty,
Yeah.
right.
she needs to really reevaluate what's going on because if she tries to kind of step away from him or defy him in any way, I could totally see him coming back like, well, I do know this in his little way, and
Hmm.
kind of get her to come back, and then she's gonna be in like kind of between a rock and a hard place and not know what to do. And I think that she would eventually go to the girls and let him know what's going on, and something will happen. And that,
Yeah,
like, I don't know how the rest of this
I can
season
see
is
that
gonna pan
too.
out, but
I definitely think her loyalty is more to the girls.
yeah.
But she has Walter in her ear. So, and he has been there for her,
Mhm.
whether it's coming from a good place or not. He has been the one that's been there the most for her. Because
And
even now we're in season 3, and you can tell, even from obviously from when they were kids, but even now you can tell that the girls don't really like hanging around with her.
that's what I was gonna
A lot of
say.
times she's around and you can see them kind of like sighing or rolling their eyes
Yeah,
or talking about her.
she's been kind of
Everybody's
the outcast
hesitant.
of the group.
And it got to the point where even at some point oh my God, I forgot the name of the character. My God, the main character, this one right here.
Donna.
Shauna.
Shauna, thank you. Where Shauna like has to call her and is totally hesitant because she has to have her
Oh yeah,
what?
that's the next episode.
Oh, sorry. Boop, boop, boop.
So
Reel it back.
Spoiler.
let's go back to a little bit of the past. We see Coach Ben
Back to the
reemerge.
90s. Let's say back to the 90s.
Back to the
Back in the
90s.
day.
Back in the
We see
90s.
Coach Ben reemerge, right? So
Yeah.
Right.
he's back. We saw in the last episode, we saw him leave the cab. In the last season, sorry, we saw him leave the cabin,
So
and everything's burning down, and
Coach
all that.
Ben is
Now
wow.
he's back. We find him in the forest, kind of foraging for food and just a way to
trying to
survive.
capture some, I guess, little animals, something to like eat and stuff.
He's
I have to say that I love those crutches that he had.
Oh
He
no.
made some nice little
He
crutches.
did. They're all doing
very
fantastic
creative and resourceful.
craftsmanship.
Yeah, they're very resourceful. I must say that. Um, and it looks so, but it does also look like some of the girls, like throughout this time, all this time, have been going out. They go out to find things to eat
It's a
and
food,
hunting
yeah.
and things, but they are also trying to find Ben.
Yeah.
They are trying to figure out where he is because they think that he burned down and messed up their whole little space. So they
Yeah.
do want to find him. So they've been doing that. You see some of them kind of secretly meeting about that. And
Right.
then Ben, we see him, he finds this kind of trap door in the ground
Mhm.
out in the woods with some supplies. It has like those like
It
dried
has a yeah,
food and
it's a big like case,
yeah, and there's
like
some
an
like
army
dried
kind of
food.
case. And it has like army food, like protein bars and like
Oh yeah.
powdered
It's like he scored. Like he
powdered
Yeah, I
food
mean he's
and things.
starving,
Yeah.
so
oh
yeah,
my
and
God.
and
And
you
the way he takes a bite out of that first
He
protein
didn't
bar
take
or
a bite.
he
He
didn't
put
take
the
a
whole
bite.
he
He
shoved the whole thing in
shoved
his
that shit
mouth.
in his mouth,
whatever.
the whole thing. Like he didn't even
Yeah.
chew it. He didn't even chew
Basically
anything.
how Raji eats most of his food.
And then so then he's there. So he found like he scores and he finds his supply space, but then he uses that extra. trapdoor space for kind of like a trap. So he's
Yeah.
using
Yeah,
that.
he puts a tarp on it and covers it with leaves that, I guess uh assuming an animal will fall in there or something that he can catch. I guess some food, and he puts a piece of the protein bar there to try and get
Area.
I guess a deer or something to come in, and so he can find some food.
Right.
How he would get it out of there and actually eat the food, I don't know, but I guess he would find a way because he would
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
kill it and
He's
stuff.
he's concerned about the first part
But
first.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, we see this, and then after a little while, we see
They're back at
something
the
is
campsite, the main place.
they're trying to figure out Mari ran away or left. And they're
Well,
trying.
they had, we should say that they had, when they had the capture the bone game, it was two teams, and the team that won would get the loser team to be their servants for the day or whatever. So that when they went back there, it was the loser team made food and was serving them, and they were kind of like, "Oh, get me this," and whatever. And Shauna and Mari already had like this beef thing. Shauna spits in her soup, and they get into a whole thing, starts fighting, and then Mari runs away. After a while, they went to Natalie and Misty go to look for her. They can't find her, and then Natalie notices the tarp, or a little, like, not maybe not the tarp, but like a little trap, like a little trap to catch an animal or something. And he stops Misty from going over there. So I think Natalie might know where the coach is.
Mm.
Somebody does bring it up later, saying that, oh, well, Missy brings it up to Shauna at some point and says that she thinks she knows that Natalie knows where the coach is. But so they
Mm.
don't find Mari, but then later on at the end of the episode, we find that something did fall in the trap, and it was Mari.
Right.
So
And then
so
that's
he's
when she notices the coach, and she sees the coach, and she's freaking out that he's going to do something to her. Right. And let's go really quick. We'll go back to the present world, and we see kind of Ty and Van having this moment where
Ooh,
they're
real
going to
moment.
they go out to dinner, they're trying to have fun, and then they want to just kind of go back home and have pizza or whatever. And they're doing a dine and ditch kind of situation from the restaurant, and they trying to just, I guess, have fun and get their mind off stuff that's going
Yeah,
on. And there's this whole montage where they play Tiffany song and they run into the streets and
that
stuff
was great.
with the I don't know if the song
I
fit
think
that whole.
you're alone now. Doesn't seem
I just like when the part they're running
anymore
just as fast as
around.
we can, and they
Yeah,
were
I guess
running.
that part, maybe that's why they chose that song, but otherwise I'm not sure why they chose that song for that scene. But anyway,
That's all
it
right.
was
I
kind of
thought it was
cool. And they're running down the streets, the waiter's chasing after them because they didn't pay their bill or whatever. And then
Oh my God.
then we
Yes, heart
see
attack.
the waiter in the street, and he's having an episode, right? And we find out that he had a heart attack,
He
and
died.
they don't know. Yes, and they don't know. That's in episode two. They don't know what happened. They're in an alley somewhere, and then they start making out and
yeah.
start
They're not thinking
rekindling.
about that.
They're rekindling what they had,
Yeah,
back in the day.
back in the 90s.
Right. So that's basically how the episode ends, with that, and the in the past world with Mari in the hole, and we jump into episode two. All right. Episode two is called Dislocation.
Yeah,
Um
I thought
two
the dislocation was like such a great title for a couple of
right, that's
reasons.
what I was gonna say. This.
Um, so we do know that Mari is not actually like she didn't like break anything. The Coach Ben was just like you just dislocated your joint, so you need to like, put it back in place. So it's a play on that and like other like kind of sort of dislocations within the second episode. So I thought that the title for that was really great. It's also kind of like shows us like how we were talking about when Shauna joins Jeff at a business meeting with a couple of guys. He's trying to really hold down this business meeting because he's like this is going to make it for us. Like this is a really great deal right now. So he asked Shauna to join him, and at some point, she's like kind of like she doesn't like these guys. They're kind of jerks, right? So at some point, like the dislocation kind of comes into my mind again because she's like thinking about this guy as this Nepo baby. So she's okay, location, dislocation, right? So I just those kinds of things just were like kept coming up throughout the second episode. So um, what else did you guys notice?
I think just in general within the whole series, they're dislocated in the sense that they're not where they should be.
The whole, yeah,
They're in
they're
this
in half
totally
of their
different
lives they have
world
been dislocated.
that they have to build for themselves.
Right,
And they don't think that I don't know if they don't think that they're ever getting out, but at this moment they're just kind of stuck in this different kind of alternate universe, and
right,
they're disassociated and dislocated from the real world,
Yeah.
right?
right, right,
So
right.
it's has to do with the whole series in general also, I think. But yeah, I think it's a great title for this episode for a lot of different factors. We see very early on in this episode that Lottie comes back, and she's back and she comes to Shauna's house. And
Mhm.
Lottie they had her in a like a psychiatric ward.
Yeah, last time we saw her was at the end of season 2 when she was getting taken away and they put her in like a psych ward, and she gets out, she comes to Shauna's house and definitely does not want her there because she doesn't want her around Callie, from around her
Mhm.
daughter, because she was like trauma, or she thinks she was traumatized by all the stuff that she saw uh when she was there. Um Shauna, uh, sorry, Lottie, actually, I don't know if she convinces them, but she kind of suggests that she can stay there. And Jeff is like, absolutely not. Callie's like, she should stay here. So they talk about it. They say, at least for one night, stay here. Meanwhile, we'll go back to the beginning of the business dinner that they had to go to. They had to leave, and she didn't want to leave Callie and Lottie together alone, so they call Misty. So this is another part, like we were talking about earlier here, that they don't really think about Misty or try to
Yeah.
include her in things, but they kind of use her too, right? So Shauna's using her to come to like watch over Callie and watch over Lottie, so they don't talk to each other and blah blah blah. I think part of that too is that Shauna doesn't want Lottie to tell her daughter about all the stuff
All the
that
stuff that
happened to them
happened.
back in
Yeah.
the day, because they're trying to keep a lot of that stuff, between them. So while
Absolutely.
they're there, they um Missy's trying to have her doing like homework, because she got, first of all, we should say really quick, Callie got, in the first episode, Callie got suspended from school because there was a couple of girls that were making fun of her mom and like
This was
what happened with the
awesome.
Yellowjackets. And so she devised this evil genius plan that she door dashed some like food. And we find out later in the episode that it was like basically a bag of like animal guts. And
Yeah.
she dumped them all over
That's crazy.
the girls and she
Until
got,
And then someone recorded it for her while she was doing
yeah. Well,
the whole bit.
she got suspended, so that's why
She
she's
gets
home.
she
And
gets
then
suspended. Yeah.
uh Callie decides she's talking to Misty and Lottie, and she decides, let's have like a sleepover. And she said, let's have rum stuff. They were getting drunk. Callie was trying to get information from them. She drugged
Misty.
Miss
Misty, and she got knocked out trying to get more info out of
Lottie.
Lottie. I'm not sure exactly how much info she got out of her, because there was a point that they cut to something else, and
Yeah.
so we don't know. Um, Also, in the end of the first episode, somebody left a bag with a little tape at
Yes.
Shauna's house that Callie found, and it was addressed to Shauna, but she kept it. So we don't know what's on that,
Tape. Yeah.
right? So going back to the 90s in episode 2, um well, I'm sorry. We'll stay in the present for just a second. After the business deal meeting, or in the middle of it, when Shauna was in the bathroom, something happens in the bathroom. Somebody goes in there, turns off the light, and she doesn't know. She thinks somebody's following her. She finds a phone in the bathroom. She doesn't know who is it from. She gives it to the bartender, go back to the back in the day in the 90s, and there was this girl, one of the girls from the Yellowjackets, Melissa, that we haven't really
Yeah.
heard from, or kind of, she hasn't really been in
Been
a
the main,
major plot,
yeah.
a major story in the series yet. Um, but you could see her from the beginning of the episode that she was kind of even from in the first episode, she has like Shauna's back, like yeah, I'm not, uh, like I'm with you or something. And it's not, she doesn't say that, but
I'm
she's
not
like,
about what they doing over there, kind of,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like hanging around her more often. And then so we get towards the end of the episode. At the present time, Shauna's calling the restaurant to try and find out if the person that left the phone picked it up. They're giving her a hard time about it. They keep going back and forth to the 90s and the present. While she's trying to find this out, they go back to the 90s. Shauna is at the site where she took her baby and buried it, and Melissa's there, and she's telling her, like, Shauna tells her, I don't want my baby should be with me. And she's like, I agree with you. I don't, basically, again, I don't think, I'm not listening to what they're saying. I agree with you, and a lot of the girls are scared of you. She said, but I'm not scared of you. And then Shauna takes a knife and she's like, you're not scaring me. And it goes back to the present day again. And Shauna's still on the phone, or somebody picked up can you describe her to me? And they might be, I think they might be telling her the
Yeah.
description. And they go back to the 90s, and then we see Melissa kiss Shauna. And Shauna pushes her away, but then she goes back. So she has this little,
Thing.
affair, or not affair, little relationship
Fling or something.
with
Yeah.
this girl, and it could be that she's there now looking for her.
So yeah,
So
yeah,
this is
So
another,
this comes up, during this episode, and she's like, she kind of like it comes into focus right around the business meeting, and we're just kind of like, so now this is a new mystery for us, right? Like we
yeah.
have to figure out, how do we connect Melissa in the now world, in today's world, to Shauna in today's world. And
If it's her, right?
something about this is, so like, because they had that relationship,
Right.
intriguing to her, and she really wants to sort of probably connect again.
Well, you
yeah.
don't know. Or there
I
might
mean,
be
that's a
something else
possibility.
or there
Yeah,
might be something else that happened that we don't know about
we
yet.
haven't seen yet.
And
Yeah,
Shauna doesn't want it to come out. That
True.
could be a possibility too. Or it might not be her. It could be the coach. It could be Ben, right? Because we haven't seen him yet either.
yeah,
We have not seen him yet.
So who knows? Or they could be in cahoots. Who knows?
Yeah.
yeah. That's true. I mean, it could be anything. We really don't know what's happening as far as that's
Right.
concerned,
It could
anyway.
be it really could be anyone.
Yeah, it really can. I mean, you know, so far, I think the first two episodes have been pretty great.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen the rest of the season. I do find it in a general sense, I do still kind of find it annoying that no one has found these girls. Like, where can they actually be? Like, please.
Or
Right.
What
that,
kind of
yeah.
search parties? I know this is the 90s, but it's not the 1800s. Like, what kind of search parties you sent out for them? You knew where they were flying. You knew
Yeah,
over
and
which
it had to
land or
be
body
like
of water they
over
were
New
flying.
Jersey, right?
There's no way you knew where this piece of land was
Jersey
that you
ain't
could
that
find.
big.
Like, but whatever. We have to keep this
It's true.
going for the rest of the time that this show is in existence.
And
So
they
we'll
went
see.
through like a whole winter, and now they're
Yeah,
in the
they
spring and
went through the whole thing.
summer.
I mean, at this point, they probably think that they're dead and stuff. So I kind of understand that, but still, it's kind of like
Yeah, maybe they probably definitely stopped the search, but
you gotta do one of those things,
They
like
had to have, yeah.
you gotta do like one of those things in Jurassic Park 3, where the parents like hire a secret team to go and find their kid in the Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
They have to do something like that. Like, where are these parents? Like, what's going on here? Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
Like
um,
Gilligan's Island. Nobody ever came looking for them.
that's true. That's true. But the people that did come to the island, um, found a way to get back out of the island, but Gilligan
But
and
never took
always
anybody else.
stayed.
Right.
Like, what's going
Yeah.
on with that? Anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about. That's before my time.
Yeah,
yeah,
whatever.
okay. Anyway, um, thanks for tuning in with us. We just recapped episodes 1 and 2 of season 3 of Yellowjackets. We'll be back next week to recap the next episode. Until then, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Threads, we're on TikTok, and we're also here on YouTube. Make sure you follow and like our channel. Make sure you subscribe. We have all the podcast episodes here on our YouTube channel every week, and we also have it on several audio platforms. So make sure you download any audio streaming platforms, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there. Until next time, guys, we are Sonia, Sandra, and Angie from the Horror Flick Chicks, and we'll say peace, love, and horror. Until next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
That's the end.